James the Preacher here. Sad to say, but the indication would appear to be that Rick Warren's son, Matthew, died and went to hell. Now, listen and hear me out. Number one, they say he's had mental illness and a history of mental illness and all that, and depression and all that. Folks, we live in a world today where anybody who has about or problems with depression, we say it's a mental illness, or it's part of a mental illness, or they've got some form of a mental illness, whether it be a deep mental illness or maybe just a small case of it or whatever. Folks, listen, I'm not saying there's not occasions where people can be mentally ill, don't get me wrong. But much of this is just nonsense, and much of it's due to spiritual influences, demonic, satanic influences. And read a book on the occult, and you'll see how much depression, why is it so tied in with drug abuse and immorality and the homosexual movement, depression. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not saying anybody who's depressed is satanically oppressed, but I'm telling you there is a very great connection between what people want to call mental illness and satanic oppression and influence. So that doesn't wash with me. Secondly, Rick Warren himself is headed for hell, folks. He commented in November, I believe it was 29, 2012, that he's questioning whether homosexuality is sinful and people should just agree to disagree politely over it, and yes, homosexuals go to heaven. Garbage, folks. A lost man says that, not a saved man. And if his son had any form of his doctrine, he's lost. Thirdly, can people commit suicide and still be saved? I'm not saying it's a fact that everybody who commits suicide is lost, but I'm saying that it's not a normal route for a saved person to go. If they were, they'd be way out of God's will. They'd be way away from God. The Spirit of God's not going to lead them to put a gun to their head or any form of suicide. It just, everything doesn't fit, folks. The indication is, I'm not saying he's in hell, and I'm grieved if he is in hell. But the indicators, such as I've mentioned already, would, as far as tilting the scale, definitely be more on the side of him going into everlasting punishment than being a child of God, converted, washed in the blood, born again. Very sad to say. But again, I have a responsibility to tell you the truth. So the indicators seem to tell us, and I hope I'm wrong, but the indicators seem to tell us that Rick Warren's son, who committed suicide just recently, is in hell. Have a nice day, James the Preacher.